I think that the Minnesota Vikings are in a big dilemma right now because after 3 seasons of not being able to make that push that they really desired in the playoffs, they come to the point where you have to ask yourself, do I want to rebuild and start over and make sure that, with the capital that we can potentially gain, we can make a playoff run or a deep Super Bowl run down the future, or continue the trend right now of keeping this team, keeping the pieces, and hope for the best this upcoming season. These questions will all be answered in this video. But what's up, guys? Welcome back to Back Sports, and I'm back with another video. And in an off season of uncertainty, the Minnesota Vikings have a big decision when it comes to whether or not they want to keep Justin Jefferson. And as you can see right here, Justin Jefferson has been on the Minnesota Vikings for 4 years now. And this most recent season, he's only played 10 games. And in those 10 games, he had 1,074 yards, about 16 per carry, and 5 touchdowns. And as well, keep in mind, he had an injury this past season and wasn't able to play as much game and wanted to keep his health in more importance. And what's even crazier is that he still was able to manage to get to 1,000 yards in 10 games, which means he averaged about 100 yards a game, which is elite level talent. And the question on everyone's mind, will the Minnesota Vikings continue the trend of keeping Justin Jefferson as their wide receiver one? And that's a really hard question to answer because, Justin Jefferson, notoriously and arguably known as the best wide receiver in Vikings history and even in the NFL right now. But he has a contract extension coming up, and he is definitely demanding a lot of money. And the question is whether the Minnesota Vikings are willing to pay that sum in order to keep him as a cornerstone piece for this franchise. But with Kirk Cousins being on the market, Danielle Hunter potentially going on the market as well, and looking at new teams, there's a potential idea that the Minnesota Vikings could be in a rebuild mode. But I truly believe that they're trying to work out a deal. I mean, there's also the franchise tag deadline is this March 5th, so who knows what can even happen going forward. And I guess you can say there were potential teams that Justin Jefferson are looking at when it comes to a potential trade. And here are 3 teams I think that they should consider. Or at least the Vikings organization should consider when making a trade, and what potential fits for these organizations will need for a Justin Jefferson, because there are organizations that really would like a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson. And start off, I would think that the Los Angeles Chargers could be one organization. And I know, you may say that, they have Keenan Allen, they are fine. What do you mean? But keep in mind, Keenan Allen has had an injury history and hasn't been the most healthy. Mike Williams has been unhealthy for a lot of time in many seasons. So adding a Justin Jefferson to a newly added Jim Harbaugh team with a Justin Herbert, the Justin to Justin connection will be unreal. And I think that the cap space scenario wise, I think that the Los Angeles Chargers, if they, make some trades, add some assets, and kind of make some moves with Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, they could get some potential cap space relief, and maybe even add a Justin Jefferson in the mix, because it would probably fit well. It would allow Justin Herbert, to make that leap as well. And the next team I want to say is the New York Jets. And keep in mind, they still have Aaron Rodgers on that team, and it's a very huge unknown, and it's not necessarily the most ideal scenario to go to. But hear me out when I say this. I think that with the Aaron Rodgers and a Justin Jefferson, that combination is what this team needs to be successful. We've seen the wide receivers that Aaron Rodgers has brought in with Randall Cobb, even what was his name? I forgot. Alan Lazard, those people that he brought in from the Green Bay Packers to be on his team because they're buddies, and adding a weapon like Justin Jefferson, along with the young wide receiver in Garrett Wilson, you will have a dynamic duo that will be able to compete in the AFC East. and could potentially make this team better. And I think that if the Jets make some like moves and trades and whatnot and make some asset relief, you can add a Justin Jefferson, be willing to pay him and to be your cornerstone piece for the organization as well. And you could give up some pieces too, but you might have to add, the giving up part for the New York Jets won't be ideal, but Aaron Rodgers is only there for a couple of years, so if you want to make that push, you could potentially make that as well, along with having to, get an O-line. And then finally, I think he's going to probably stay with the Vikings, because the Vikings as a whole, like, I've been also thinking, like, I've been talking to a bunch of buddies of mine and all that, and they've been like, oh, why would you trade Justin Jefferson? And I would be like, well, because Justin Jefferson and the Vikings are trying to move away or like not be a contender anymore, so I don't see what's the point of keeping Justin Jefferson. But in the off chance they end up doing it, you might as well make sure that wide receiver 1 position is locked up, because think about it, if they move off from Kirk Cousins, maybe a year goes by where they have like a down year. They already had a down year this year, but if you continue to build around for Justin Jefferson, add a young quarterback that's a rookie maybe in the upcoming years, you could potentially make a run later on with Justin Jefferson still on the team, because he's that much of a talent. And that kind of changed my mind in this aspect, because it's important that if you come across a talent like Justin Jefferson, that you make sure you keep him. But in the off chance that they don't is when you go into full rebuild mode, you go not necessarily make a run, and you kind of like lose that opportunity that you had. You only had him for 4 years, and he's performed every single year, like above 1,000 yards each year. So I don't see the point as to why would you get rid of him. He had a down year, and then even in his down year, it's better than a lot of wide receivers' best years too. So yeah, that's about it. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think is going to happen with Justin Jefferson. Do you think he's going to be traded? Do you think he's going to be not? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.